What's going on, everybody? It's Jimmy. So today I want to get some things off my chest. I wanted to make this video because I've noticed that there's been a trend lately about people meeting their twin flame and going through the twin flame experience and all this stuff. And it's been 5 years since I met my twin flame and almost 5 since we've separated. And so really I just wanted to share kind of my big breakthrough that I had sort of recently. We had this giant supermoon that happened, I think, like a day or two ago, and really this whole year has been a wild ride, at least for me. I don't know about anybody else, but just speaking from personal experience. So first off, I want to talk about kind of the events that led up to me meeting my twin flame. So I was really unhappy in my life. I was doing a lot of things that to try to get people to like me, and I was facing a lot of rejection and just a really sad time in my life. And I had this thought in my head. I made a decision. I was like, you know what, these things are not making me happy anymore. And I decided to kind of gravitate towards the things that truly did make me happy and fulfilled in life. And I even had like a journal where I would say like, okay, today I'm focusing on this thing because this is what brings me joy in life, whether it was small or big. And not long after that comes my twin flame. And when I first met her, we had some things in common. I was like, okay, that's cool. But then there was something underneath the surface that I felt, and it was like this feeling of, I know her from somewhere, and it's kind of like this very like homey feeling. It was when I talked to her, she really supported me and understood, what I was saying, and she saw my point of view on life and stuff. And I even said that talking to her was like a breath of fresh air because it just was easy. And during that time I really was very happy. I started to feel very happy, and on a whole new level too, because I realized, wow, here's this person who's amazing, and I'm falling in love with them. And it also kind of scared me a little bit because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really am like feeling like super happy, like from my head to my toes, like my whole body is lighting up. And so essentially what happened after about I believe it was about a month or 6 weeks after we had she had come into my life, she went out of my life, and the whole thing threw me for a loop. And I couldn't understand why this person that made me so happy and supported me when it felt like nobody else supported me or understood me, just basically walked up and pretended like I was dead. And it was really, really painful, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Everything hurt. I would wake up in panic attacks, wake up sweating. I'd have like these horrible nightmare dreams where she's like laughing at me and stabbing me in the heart, and it was just really a horrific experience. And when I would watch YouTube videos, like there were some certain truths about twin flames and the awakening journey and all this stuff that I kind of understood or knew on an intellectual level, but emotionally and even kind of physically I really had not caught up yet. And it's taken me the past 5 years to really get through all of, or at least 99% of the junk, to really come to this point in my life where I'm like, oh, now I see why this has happened. Because she was not the first, person, opportunity that had come into my life and then suddenly had vanished, or, just walked off, like there was no connection. And because I've had other experiences like that, I started to see, okay, so there's some sort of pattern here, something that I need to be paying attention to. And basically, now that I've stepped back and looked at that time in my life, there were so many years where it was like, why did I have to go through this? Why was it so painful? You know, even going through it, you know, 5 years ago, it was like, why do I feel so much for this person? Why, you know, it's just a relationship. Like, why am I like having panic attacks and all this stuff? It made no sense to me, like, intellectually. But anyways, the biggest realization that I've had over this twin flame experience, I would say, is simply that, first of all, when you head towards your path in life, you head towards your own happiness and fulfillment and stop trying to please other people, you start to attract certain things. So my decision to focus on my own happiness attracted my twin flame into my life. And I also manifested a lot of other things very quickly because, you know, the energy was so powerful that, like, I had manifested a childhood dream, you know, that I had like 14 years prior, and it was like something I had mentioned to her. I was like nonchalant, like, yeah, I think I'd like to do this one day or whatever, and then bam, a month later it manifested. So that was really incredible. I had never experienced that in my entire life, just taking quantum leaps basically. But that was one of the biggest things, that attracting, you know, certain things with the decisions that you're making and the steps that you're taking towards your own happiness and fulfillment in your own personal life path. But the other thing I really realized is that the reason she came in and came out of my life was simply to push me towards myself. And, you know, when she came in and I felt this, like, sense of hominess, and I was falling in love, and it was like my whole body was lighting up, and, you know, I was manifesting big things very quickly. And then she came out and I had this whole, like, detox experience, I would say. And then manifested some other things. I found out I had some spiritual gifts and all this stuff, and it was like this whole up and down wild ride, even though we weren't even talking at this point in time, where I was still going through all of this. All of that happened to push me into myself. So what does that mean, really? It means that the coming in and the going out, both of those things were to push me into my full power, my full potential. So essentially, I mean, this person was showing me who I was on the inside. All that love and happiness and everything else was already inside of me on a deep, deep level. But because I had, you know, taken on these sort of identities from trauma and rejection that weren't really me, and I adapted these behaviors and these mindsets that weren't really, you know, for my highest good, I had to basically take all of those things off. You know, like, there was definitely a point in my time in the separation where it felt like I was dying, and truly I was. It was that part of me that identified with those traumas and those behaviors that came from the traumas that weren't really healthy for me or pushing me towards my path. And, you know, especially this year, I've seen a lot of things come into my life and things leave out of my life, and it has been driving me crazy. But now I realize that everything, literally everything, is pushing you inward and pushing you towards your path and your highest self. Even when it feels horrible, because definitely it can feel really terrible. But, you know, the thing I like to think about is a plant or a tree. When it's not getting the nutrients that it needs on the surface level soil. It digs its roots deep to find water, to find nutrients, and it keeps digging its roots. It keeps branching out until it finds, the things that it needs. And that's kind of like what things in life happen. Like, they're constantly pushing us to dig deeper and deep, find those things that we really, really need within ourselves, and then to, that helps us grow into these big, strong trees with tons of branches and tons of fruit and stuff like that. So anyways, I know a lot of you guys have been going through something similar. If you would like to share something about your twin flame journey or your spiritual awakening journey, feel free to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe for more videos that will hopefully help you on your path in life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.